It's one of the largest machines ever built. 100,000 tons of steel, cargo, and raw power crossing the open ocean. But when this giant needs to stop in the middle of nowhere, what keeps it in place? You'd probably say, the anchor, of course. It's massive, heavy, it digs into the seabed, simple. Well, not quite. On ships of this scale, the anchor is just a small piece of the puzzle. The true secret that keeps a ship still lies hidden in the physics of the chain. To hold position, a ship must fight two invisible forces, wind and current. To resist them, it relies on two main tools, the anchor and the heavy steel line known as the rode. The anchor's job isn't to be heavy, it's to hook. Modern stockless anchors are designed to dig into the seabed when pulled horizontally. But this only works if the seabed cooperates. On solid rock, the anchor just skates over the surface. Seaweed creates a slick carpet that's equally useless. Sand gives some grip, but not enough to hold firmly. The ideal bottom is sticky, clay, or mud, where the anchor can bite deep and hold tight. Still, even the perfect anchor means nothing without the real star, the chain. Known as the rode, it's hundreds of meters of ultra-tough steel. Each individual link weighs around 160 kilograms, heavier than a grand piano. The anchor itself weighs about 23,000 kilograms, roughly the mass of 15 cars. Yet its real purpose is simple, to secure the end of the chain in place. The real holding power comes from the combined weight of the chain and anchor, a staggering 243,000 kilograms, about the same as a fully grown blue whale. Now here's where physics takes over. When the anchor hits the seabed, the crew doesn't stop there. They let out even more chain, not to make a straight line, but to form a beautiful curve called the catenary. This curve does two brilliant things. First, its sheer weight lying on the seabed creates immense friction, like a giant paperweight holding the ship still. Second, it acts as a natural shock absorber. When wind or waves push the vessel, they don't tug directly on the anchor. Instead, they must first lift the heavy chain from the seafloor. As the catenary straightens, it absorbs that energy. So by the time the force reaches the anchor, it's just a gentle pull. Without that curve, the anchor would rip free instantly. The catenary curve is the hidden genius of anchoring, the difference between being anchored and simply tied to a weight. But once it's time to leave, there's another challenge. How do you pull up an anchor designed not to come free? Connected to a chain heavier than a blue whale? You don't just pull, you maneuver. The ship uses its main engines to move slowly forward toward the anchor's position, while the windlass, the massive winch on the bow, hauls in the chain. The engines do the work of moving the ship, so the windlass only lifts the vertical weight of the chain, not drag the entire vessel sideways. Once directly above the anchor, the pull becomes vertical. That lifts the anchor's shank, breaking the flukes free from the seabed's grip. The process demands precision. The captain must know exactly how much chain is in the water and how many meters of chain are deployed. Too little, and the catenary effect is lost. Too much, and retrieval becomes difficult. But how do they measure it? They read it. Anchor chains are divided into sections called shackles, each about 27.5 meters, 90 feet, long. At every connection, the joining link is painted red, and the links beside it are painted white. The number of white links tells the crew which shackle is out. 1 white link, first shackle, 2, second, 3, third, and so on. A simple, rugged system that lets them instantly see how many shackles. This is the elegant, physics-driven truth behind anchoring a massive ship. A slow, deliberate dance between machinery and nature. And then there's Hollywood, where battleships drop anchor for an emergency handbrake turn. In reality, if that happened, best case, the anchor rips free and bounces along the seabed like a tin can. Worst case, it catches on rock, and the chain snaps instantly under the unimaginable force. So, next time you see a giant ship resting peacefully in the harbor, remember, it's not simply sitting still. It's balanced, delicately, by a graceful curve, a hidden law of physics, and the immense distributed strength of its mighty chain.